Hey everyone! Hi! Happy Wednesday! I am so excited to be here with you guys. February 10th, crazy. If you're in the DC area, we're about to get like a weird second half of the month of snow, so I hope you're ready for that. But yeah, hi, welcome. When you're here, say hey, let me know that you're here. Last time I was here, I'm looking at something because last time I was here, the chat wasn't working, and so I want to make sure that it is. So when you're here, just drop it. If you're watching me, if you can hear me, just drop me a note. Say hey, let me know that you can hear me. Oh, see, like I am totally like listening to myself. All right, hey, I got you up to in the Facebook group just in case it doesn't work. Welcome. I do these Facebook Lives every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern to help you build a profitable business. We talk about different things that will help you implement a strategy or take action or create a mindset that will set you up for success. And today we're talking about a phrase that a lot of my clients have been coming to me and saying, like, Rita, I want to get more, but I want to do less. I want to get more, but I want to do less. And I have to really dig into that to figure out what they mean. And so I wanted to share some of what went on with the client, some things that have gone on with me, but this concept of what it really means to get more by doing less. So when you're here, say hey, and let me know what it means to you. Like, do you feel like you would like to get more with having to do less? Like, I'd love to know, right? And does that mean working fewer hours? Like, what does doing less mean to you? So when clients come to me, one thing they say is, Rita, I'm working full days. Like, I'm working all the time. I've got some traction in my business. Things are happening, but I'm not at the level that I want to be at. I'm not at the income that I want to be at. I'm not at the revenue I want to be at. I'm not really at the like signing clients with ease status that I want to be at, but things are happening. Things are working. I'm getting visibility. I'm getting interest. I'm getting some clients. But here's the thing, Rita, I want more. I want more clients. I want more money. I want more opportunities. I want more. But I don't have the time to do it because I already have full days. So how many of you feel like that? Like you want more than what you've got in your business, whether that's more opportunities, more clients, more revenue, but you're already kind of at maximum capacity with what you can do in your business. That's usually what I hear when people kind of call me to explore business coaching. So I see that Angie, hey, Angie, good morning, says what that means to her is efficiency, planning, prioritizing, a better evening routine. Yes, right? Like my favorite thing to do is help my clients see that they can have the business that they want while living the life that they want. One thing that I do is I have you plan your life first, then we build the business around it. That means you have to make tough decisions. You have to make some CEO hard decisions that will allow you to live that life and to build your business around your life. But that's one thing I do, right? So when I talk to these people who are calling me, right, they're saying, okay, so I have traction, things are happening, I'm getting visible, people are reaching out, I'm having sales calls. Like my days are full with social media, my days are full with networking, my days are full with getting visibility, my days are full writing content, my days are full with sales calls, my days are full with a little client work that I've got, my days are full. So if that feels like you, let me know that feels like you, because I need to know like where my audience is at. Like, does that feel like you, or do you feel like, nope, my days are wide open, I'm not doing anything? That might be why I don't have the results that I want in my business, right? But most people come to me because they're doing stuff. They're on Facebook, they're running a Facebook group, they're on Instagram, they're doing stories, they're putting up posts, they're networking in other groups, whether those are virtual networking groups, in-person networking groups, or other Facebook groups. They might be on Clubhouse, they're doing Facebook Live videos, they're having sales calls, they're having one-on-ones. Like their days are full, but they're not at the level that they want to be at in their business. And they're like, Rita, what else can I do? And then they caveat it by saying, but Rita, I don't have time to do anything else in my business, right? Like I want more than what I have, but I don't have time to do more to get more. And that's what we're talking about. How can you get more by doing less? So when you do pick up traction in your business, and how many of you have ever been here before, but when you do pick up traction in your business, like maybe you notice that your Facebook group is growing, or your email list is growing, or your following is growing on Instagram, you're signing more clients, or you've gotten a couple of speaking engagements, or your bank account is increasing, right? Your revenue is increasing. When you see that a strategy that you're implementing is working and getting you traction, the temptation will be just to ask yourself, well, what else can I do? What else can I do, right? How many of you have done that before? Hey, Stephanie. So how many of you have ever done that before, where it's like, okay, this is working. The strategy I'm doing, I decided to go live every week, and I've gone live every week in my Facebook group for 2 months, and I've gotten sales calls and I've gotten clients. So now what else can I do? If Facebook Lives got me a couple of clients, maybe I should be on Instagram, or maybe I should start a newsletter. Maybe I should be on Clubhouse. How many of you have felt like that? So you get traction, but the temptation is to do something else, something additional, something new, right? So you're like, okay, like my Facebook Lives for 2 months, I've been going weekly and it's working. So now maybe I should do stories or reels on Instagram, right? Or maybe you have a program and you're like, oh my gosh, like I launched my program and people have registered. Hi Lana. People have registered for my program. That's so exciting. What other program can I put out there? What other thing can I do? Or maybe you've signed a couple of clients at the rate that you want. You're like, okay, well, what's another rate I could charge? What's something else I can do? Do you see what I'm saying? Like when things start picking up traction, oh, hey, Sydney, when things start picking up traction, your temptation is to be like, what else can I do? This thing that I'm doing is working. Maybe I should start a new offering. Maybe I should raise my rates. Maybe I should start a podcast. Maybe I should try Clubhouse, right? But what I want you to see is at this stage, when you've taken a strategy and you've started implementing it and you're feeling some traction, you're feeling some results, what you need to be doing at that stage is asking yourself, how can I do more of what I'm doing? Not how can I do more? How can I do more of this thing that is working? So in my Facebook Live example, if you've decided to go live every week in Facebook and by 2 or 3 months, it's really picked up traction and steam and you're getting sales calls and you're getting visibility and you're getting interaction, do not ask, although the temptation will be there, what else can I do? What other platform can I be on? It's what can I do? How can I do more of what I'm already doing? Because it's working, right? It's working. So why would you want to do anything else in your business other than what's working? But that allows you to go deeper with it. It allows you to gain mastery of it. It allows you to create the foundation that you need for really sustainable, solid success, right? So I want to give you an example, because if you're new to my community, a lot of you have come over from Clubhouse. So first, welcome. Hello. I'm Rita in person, not a photo on a phone. So welcome to the All-In Entrepreneur. But so I was an attorney for 13 years, and I left my business law attorney life to become a dating coach because I had run a singles group, right? So I left the law, became a dating coach. That grew successfully. Within 3 months, I had surpassed my attorney salary. I was asked to tour and speak. I was a contributor to the Washington Post for dating advice and, like dating and relationship stuff. And I was nominated in my very first year and was a finalist for the best dating coach, which is the iDate Awards, which is like really, really popular, famous. It's kind of like the Oscars in the date coaching community, right? All of that happened really quickly. And people are always like, well, tell me what you did. Tell me all the things you did. But the part of my story that people always skim over, even though I share it, that people always skim over, is that the reason that grew so quickly is I had run a singles group as a hobby in the DC area for 5 whole years prior to leaving. Well, no, 6 whole years prior to starting my date coaching business part-time, for 8 whole years prior to starting my date coaching business full-time. And I'm going to share why that's important. Alana says, so first Cindy says, love listening to these in the background while I work. We're talking about getting more by doing less. Hey, and then Lana waved. I'm showing all the things I haven't shown. Efficiency planning, prioritizing. And so the question that Lana's referencing here is not what else can I do? It's how can I do more of what I'm already doing? How can I do more? Sometimes we think, how can I get more eyes on me? But it's how can I go deeper with the eyes that I already have, right? So anyway, the part of my story that people skim over is the reason that my business grew within 3 months when I left the law to become a dating coach is because I had run the singles group, right? 6 times before going part-time as a dating coach, 8 years before becoming full-time as a dating coach. I had established by running this group a huge amount of credibility, likability, trust by everything that I had poured into that group for 6 to 8 years, right? But it was about more than just starting a group and organizing events, because I've heard people say, well, Rita, I tried that. I formed a community. I formed a meetup community, or I formed a Facebook group community, or I formed whatever. And I'm putting up some events. I'm putting up live streams, or I'm putting up in-person events, but I'm still not getting that level of success that you're talking about, right? So I wrote a list. I'm going to share it with you real quick, right? The reason that I did that, like the reason that that worked, the reason that what I built became a true thriving community that really skyrocketed my credibility, right, my authority with them, so that when I started my business was super successful. I wrote a list. You're just going to have to listen to it. I was visible all of the time. I scheduled consistent events. We eventually got to 30 events a month because I had assistant organizers. But people knew when they came to the Singles in the Suburbs calendar, there would always be events on the calendar in a variety of places on a variety of days. And there were recurring events. So you knew that every Wednesday there would always be a happy hour at this place, at this location. So there were some events that people could rely on consistently, and they could consistently rely on the fact that there would always be events, right? I held the events regardless of if 1 person or 0 people or 100 people RSVP'd. So when I posted the event on the meetup calendar, it did not matter if 0 people RSVP'd. I did not cancel the event. I still showed up at the event. Here's why. First of all, there are always people who don't RSVP to something, whether it's virtual or in person, who will trickle in. There are always people who won't show, but there are always people who will trickle in. But even if they didn't, I needed my membership to know that I would be consistently there for them. I needed them to know that they could rely on me and they could trust me. So even if I put up, hey, happy hour at Clyde's at 5:00 p.m. and no one RSVP'd yes, I did not take down the event. I went to Clyde's. I sat there with a book or whatever, right? That would be a podcast. But I sat there with a book and I did my own thing for the entire time that I slated to run that event. So if someone trickled in, I was there. I took photos of me. Hey, I'm at Clyde's. I hope you join me next time. I put it up, right? That way people knew I could be depended on. I could be relied upon to follow through on my word. But how many of you have ever done like an event, whether it's virtual or it's in person? Maybe you scheduled a networking event, or you scheduled a happy hour, or you scheduled a webinar, or you scheduled some kind of class, or you did a Facebook Live and no one joined you. Maybe no one logged in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe no one RSVP'd or no one registered, so you didn't do it. So you just didn't do the event. You canceled it. You said, I'm going to reschedule it. I'm going to whatever, right? That sends a signal of not being able to rely on you and not being able to trust you, right? People ask, how have I had so much traction in Clubhouse so quickly, right? Because I've already monetized from Clubhouse. I've already built a semi-respectable kind of following, although Clubhouse your following doesn't really matter. But people ask, how am I doing it? I'm consistent every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 a.m. I'm leading a room in there. I'm consistent here, right? Nobody joined me last week for my Facebook Live. Not one person joined me for my Facebook Live last week, but I still did the entire Facebook Live, right? So I was visible all the time to my singles group. I scheduled consistent events. I held the events regardless of how many people RSVP'd or how many people showed up. Like I said, if I was even the only one, I stayed the entire time. I still took photos of doing the activity or being at the event and shared it so people would get excited about that next time. I was consistent with what they got. at each event. So an event that had a lower turnout didn't get any fewer perks or care or attention than one with a higher turnout. And I see this in the virtual space a lot, that if one or two people log on to something, it's getting kind of like less energy, less attention than something that has 100 people in it, right? I was consistent in how I showed up for the members. So when I ran events or I was in front of them, I didn't let a bad day at work, because I was a lawyer back then, right? I didn't let a bad day at work affect my demeanor or my attitude when hosting an event. They would have never known that I had a bad day. I never mentioned it. I didn't let personal situations keep me from, running those events. Sometimes I might have to have an assistant help me out or whatever, but they still happened. I welcomed every person that came through the door in a way that made them feel like they had been my friend and a member for years, right? And when events were not happening, I communicated consistently with polls or with discussion forums or town hall meetings or more, right? And I share this because that's why my singles group took off. It took off quickly. And as it did, right? So now here's tying to what we just said before, where when things start working, the temptation is to go, what else can I do? This strategy that I'm implementing is working. So what else can I do? So in my singles group, right, I implemented a strategy: schedule events, show up to the events, rock the events. Schedule events, show up to the events regardless of anything, rock the events. And it was working. My singles group went from like 10 members to 150 in 1 month to like 1,000 in just a couple of months to over 5,000 members in its heyday, right? And as it started growing, people started contributing ideas on what else we could do for the group. So people started saying, ooh, maybe we should have a paid membership. Maybe we should have a paid membership of Singles in the Suburbs. Or maybe you should have a membership card, Rita, where you take a membership card and people can get discounts at all of the vendors around. Or maybe you shouldn't be on Meetup. What if Meetup goes down? You should have this all hosted on your own domain. Or, hey, Rita, let's advertise it. Let's get a Twitter account. Let's get a Facebook account. Let's get all of these other social media platforms and put Singles in the Suburbs up on all of these social media platforms. Let's start a podcast, Rita. That was a suggestion. Let's write a blog. And I will admit that I tried a few of those things. I think I tried the membership card. I tried a Twitter account, which is still out there. I don't even know how to log into it. It got taken over by spam and it's terrible. But I tried like a Twitter account. I tried like a Facebook group. I tried, a membership card. I tried a few paid levels of membership for Singles in the Suburbs. And what I learned very quickly was that dividing my attention on multiple strategies for my group hurt my group. It hurt it almost immediately. It hurt the singles group almost immediately because there was no way to do all of these things and do any of them well, right? When I tried, it was obvious that each thing would be done okay. I kind of okay had this membership card idea. I kind of okay had a Twitter account. I kind of okay, right, had the other things that I was doing. It was all kind of okay, right? It was kind of okay. But since the results are equal to the actions that you take, right? Since the results are equal to the actions that you take, my results were showing it, right? I was doing okay things. I was getting okay results. My group didn't grow as much. It started kind of dwindling. My mission of creating the singles community was being hurt. And the reason it was being hurt is because of what we talked about. I had started gaining traction and my strategy was working. So I started saying, well, what else can I do? Where else can I be visible? Where else can I reach people? Where else can I show up? When I should have been asking, how can I keep doing more of what's working? How can I just keep doing more of this one strategy and not adding in more strategies, right? So I went back to it. I decided to refocus on the one thing, right? If you really want to go there, it's the one thing. And I knew that my one thing was building relationships. So I said, this is the most important part of the singles group, building relationships, okay, between the members. And the best way to build relationships between the members, because that's why they were there, right, to meet each other. The best way to build relationships between the members was to have events, in-person events. And I knew that that's what I had to go all in on. So I committed to Meetup, one site. I let go of the Twitter account. I let go of the Facebook group. I let go of the idea of having my own domain name. And I said, I'm going all in on Meetup because Meetup is already working, right? So I committed to one site. I committed to one way, right, which is the relationship building. One thing, the relationship building. One way to achieve that, the in-person events. So one platform, one way to go at it, which is my mission is to build relationships between the members, and one way to do that, in-person events. I dropped everything else. I dropped the podcast idea. I dropped the membership card. Because getting discounts at vendors was not the priority strategy of this group. It was building relationships between the members, right? Everything else that I was doing, because my strategy was working, really started taking away and hurting my group. And when I recommitted, right, and I went all in on one platform, one thing, which was relationship building, in one way, one strategy, in-person events, everything like went through the roof, right? That's when I reached the highest height of the group. We were on the news, everything was happening. And it was because I got excellent at what I was doing. Because I did less, I could get excellent at what I was doing. I learned all I could about creating and running and hosting really impeccable experiences and events for the members. And so it grew, like I said, to over 5,000 members. It was rated 2 years in a row after that point as the #1 singles group in the DC area. We were covered consistently by the Washington Post and WTOP. We were on the news. We were in a lot of outlets. Relationships formed. There were marriages that happened because of just meeting at these events and singles in the suburbs. And in fact, to this date, 15 years later, it's almost been a full 15 years since I started that group, which is crazy. There are still friendships and relationships and community that exist to this very day. So then it's because I embraced the philosophy of doing not all the things, but doing the right thing. One thing, the best thing that was working, and seeing it through, or picking one way and working it until it worked, right? And when it started working, saying no to the temptation of what else can I do? And instead just going, how can I keep doing more of what I'm doing? Does that make sense? I'm going to share a story with a client, but I'm curious if that makes sense. So like Lana said, that's a brilliant question. How can I do more of what's working? And she's going to put that question in front of her eyes. But like, have you been there where something's working and you start going, oh, what else could I do? I'm getting some traction on Instagram now. What other platform could I be on? Oh, my Twitter's picking up. It's got some activity. What other social media platform could I be on? Oh, I ran this course and finally a couple of people registered. What other course could I run, right? But instead, it's like, how can you just do more of the same thing, right? That's part of getting more by doing less. You don't do all the other things, right? You just keep doing more of what's working. And because it's like a well-oiled machine, that's where you can get to what Angie was saying. Efficiency, planning, prioritizing, right? All of that starts falling into place. So I want to share with you a story of a client who contacted me because she was frustrated that she was not getting to the next level of her business. So she's like, Rita, the same thing I shared at the beginning. She's like, look, I'm getting traction. I've got some clients. I've got some stuff. I've got things going on. I'm getting some speaking engagements, but it's not what I want it to be. I'm not getting the money that I want for speaking. I'm not getting paid at all. I'm only being asked to speak for free. I don't have the number of clients I want. When I do get clients, they're not paying me for the packages I really want. They're paying me for my lower level stuff. It's not the consistency of signing clients that I want, right? And she's like, so I'm signing fewer clients than I want. They're purchasing my lower priced offering. I'm being asked to speak for free only to really tiny groups, 10 or under, and I'm struggling to fill my group coaching programs. She had some group programs and she's like, I'm never filling them. I'm never reaching my goal for filling my group programs. And I said, okay, well, let's dig in. Like what's going on? There's forward movement in your business, but what's going on? And as we dug, right, she admitted that she was not being consistent with networking. So she was networking, but she wasn't networking consistently. She was following up with people, but not consistently, not even frequently. She was nurturing relationships, but again, It was haphazard. It was random. It was spontaneous. She was not consistently putting out content. She was not consistently emailing inquiries for speaking. She was not consistently doing direct outreach for sales calls. She was kind of waiting for referrals and for things to come into her. She was not even consistently holding true to her pricing. She would get on a sales call and someone would go, oh, I don't know, that's kind of out of my budget. She would say, well, I tell you what, here's what I can do. And she would like lower the pricing, right? She was not even really pouring her all into her current clients. She was rescheduling some calls and she was doing some other stuff. She was not running her groups consistently. Remember, I said she was struggling to fill her group coaching programs. So when she didn't reach her goal, she just canceled it. Okay, guys, we're not going to do this round. Maybe the round will start in March. We'll try it again. You're on the wait list for the next round, right? She wasn't doing daily mindset work and she was not honoring her time boundaries. So as I dug into it, those were all the things that were not happening consistently, right? And I remember, I don't know where this came from, but I straight up looked at her and I said, because she wanted bigger things, right? She wanted bigger clients paying a higher price point. She wanted bigger speaking engagements that were paying her money. She wanted bigger opportunities. She wanted bigger things. And I looked at her and I said, if you cannot be consistent with the little things, why would God trust you with anything big? And I have no idea where that came from. I can only assume that that was truly a divine download, because that's not something I would normally say. But I looked at her and I said, look, if you cannot be trusted to be consistent with the small things, why will God trust you with the large things like a full client load or high paying clients or big audiences? You can't even be consistent with small paying clients and small audiences and small speaking engagements, right? Like Stephanie said, good answer, right? But it's true. It's like I said that and she was like, oh my gosh, like, you're right. She's like, you were asking to get bigger and better things and you can't even be consistent with what you have. The universe, God, whatever that is for you, cannot trust you with the bigger things. So it is not going to send it to you. It's not going to send them to you until you can get consistent with these smaller things. So she agreed. So to be able to do that, we switched her focus. She had been focusing. Oh, thank you, Patty. Patty says, I love that answer. Thank you. She had been focused on the outcomes. Am I getting a client? Am I getting a speaking engagement? Do I have a large audience? Are people signing up for my program? She had been focused on the outcomes. We switched her focus to the consistency of her actions. That was what she was supposed to be measuring. That was what she was supposed to be concerned about. Not what resulted from her actions, but we switched her focus to the consistency of her actions. But she then knew, I'm doing all of these things and I can't be consistent with them if I'm trying to do all of them, right? We can't do a lot of different things and do them all consistently. We just don't have the bandwidth or the ability to do that. So now that she was focusing, and Patty's like, yes, focus on the consistency of the action, right? Now that she was focused on the consistency of the action, she realized I can't be consistent with these actions. There are too many actions. I'm trying to be visible on too many social media platforms. I'm trying to sell too many programs. I'm trying to network in too many places to be consistent with any of them. So we stopped doing everything and we focused on just the right thing. We came up with a one thing strategy, the way for her to go all in on the right thing. So she stopped doing everything and she focused on one way to generate awareness in her business. She focused on one way to nurture the relationships that she was creating. She focused on one thing that she was selling, right? She focused on just one, and we went all in on that strategy. She got more than she could have ever imagined. And I'll tell you why. By going all in on the right action instead of all the actions, by doing less, she was able to get more because she could be consistent with the things that she was doing. And when she could be consistent with the things that she was doing, she was sending a message to God, to the universe. She was sending a message to other people. And more importantly, she was sending a message to herself that she could be trusted. And because she was sending that message, People trusted her because she could be trusted. Do you see what I'm saying? So like that's what it really means to get more by doing less, because by cutting out all of the things and only doing the same thing and getting traction and continuing to go deeper with that same thing and not doing more things, she maxed her private client load in 2 months. 2 months for making that decision. She maxed out her private client load. She signed more clients for her premium offering than she ever had before, and she was paid to speak to her first audience of 232 people after never having been paid and never speaking to an audience of larger than 10. In 2 months, all of those happened. 2 months of being consistent and going deeper with less, of not trying to be all the places, not trying to network in all the groups, not trying to be visible on all the social media platforms, not even in all the places on one social media platform. Guys, this is what it means to get more by doing less. It is not about doing more and having to fit that in. It is about doing less. It is about doing the right thing. This is how I'm able to help my clients build a successful business while living their life, right? Because eventually you're going to hit this wall where you're like, well, I'm getting traction, I'm getting clients, I'm getting some money, I'm getting opportunities, I have people reaching out to me, but I'm not signing the number of clients I need. I'm not generating the revenue I really need. I'm not getting all the things I really want or need in the business, but I have 0 hours more to do anything else. I'm already maxed out. I'm already filling all of my time. What else could I possibly do, Rita? And I'm like, no, it is not about doing more. It is not about what else. It's about cutting most of this stuff out so that you live the life that you love and you're efficient and you're effective with the thing that you're doing, because you're doing it over and over and over, and it's going to feel boring. And I don't care, because the results aren't going to be boring, right? Does this make sense, guys? So if you're looking for larger sales, larger experiences, larger opportunities, you need to ask, and I would love for you to answer in the comments, what signal, if you were honest right now, what signal are you sending to the universe, to other people, and to yourself about your reliability and your readiness to handle the big things? Just like my client who had to admit, oh my gosh, I am not being consistent or going deep with the little things. Why would the universe trust me with anything larger if I can't even be consistent and go deep with what I've got, right? And that meant making decisions. That meant cutting a lot of things out so that she could show up in a big way for the things that really were the most important things for her business, that then allowed her to live a life, which of course made that energy feel better and higher. She was a higher energy level because now her days weren't full of all the things. She had some hours in her business where she was doing the thing, right, that moved everything forward. And because she was able to live her life and get results in her business, that created a higher level energy that attracted more higher things, right? So I once read that if you really want to succeed in something, this was like in a study, maybe it was Psychology Today, or I don't know. It was one of these, it was a real book. It was like a real paper magazine, right? But I read that if you want to succeed, you need to show up for something every single day for at least 2 years. That's 730 days in a row to see the real lasting results of what you're doing. 730 days in a row. If you want to like have a new mindset, you've got to do mindset exercises, the same mindset exercises, not different mindset exercises, the same mindset exercise every single day for 730 days in a row. If you really want like if I went live, right, every single day for 730 days in a row for 2 years, you better believe the level of success is going to be off the charts, right? Even just getting visible in this group every day. When people are like, wow, how did your group grow so large? And it's not one of the largest, but like, how did your group get to where it is? I am in it every day. Have you ever seen me miss a day in this group? There's always a post for me. There's always a live for me, 7 days a week, every single day for well over 2 years, right? So when people come to me and say, Rita, I'm not reaching my goals, I'm not seeing the results that I want, the first thing that I investigate, if you can't tell, is their consistency. So I ask, are you working towards one goal And often they're not. They're trying to sell private, like with coaches. I'll stick with coaches. They're trying to sell private coaching and group coaching and templates and passive income. And they've got some classes and some workshops, and they're trying to sell and get people to all of these different places. Are they standing firm in their strategy? No, they bail on their strategy when they don't see results. So they'll go, okay, you know what? I'm going to go live on Facebook every day. And then after 2 weeks, when nobody has joined a Facebook Live, they're like, well, that's not working. So now they hop over to another strategy. If they decide on a price, they're not standing firm in their pricing. They're giving discounts. They're agreeing to lower amounts. If they have a strategy to not coach people on a sales call, suddenly they're coaching people on a sales call, right? So they're not usually working towards one goal. They're not standing firm in their strategy. I'll ask them, how long have you been executing your strategy? This strategy that you're not even standing firm in. How long have you been executing it? It's not 730 days in a row, but I'll say, has it been days? Has it been months? Has it been years? I mean, sometimes people say, Rita, I've been doing this thing for like a week and it's not working. So I think I'm not going to do it. I think I'm going to do something else. And it's like 730 days in a row, guys, to really see traction. Right now, you'll see results sooner than that, but you know what I mean. Many people are looking for the quick win. They are looking for the easy path. They are looking for the thing that gives them results without effort, right? So they'll get frustrated when results aren't happening quickly. They will get irritated when things seem to take a step backwards. They will get upset about the short-term sacrifices that have to be made for the long-term gain because they are looking for the easy path. Results without effort, right? That's not what doing less and getting more is. It's not about what's the easy path. It's not about how can I just phone it in. It's not about how do I not do anything, but I get results. That's not what doing less and getting more is about, right? So those people who are looking for that fast path, those are my strategy hoppers. They will hop around from this platform to that platform, from this technique to that technique, from this idea to that idea. And what they're doing is they're hoping to land on the thing that makes it all happen quickly. So maybe they decide that they're going to launch a group coaching program, but nobody's signing up for the group coaching program after a week or two. So they bail on that and they hop over to a workshop that they're going to fill, but like they're not really getting the registrations for that. So then they hop over to like a low cost, like PDF, but like they're not really getting the sales they want from that. So they go back over to try private coaching, right? Like that's what I mean by they're hopping around, or they're on Instagram, but they're not getting the traction that they want. So they try Clubhouse, but they're not getting the traction that they want. So they go to a networking event, but they're not really getting the results that they wanted. So they hop over to a different networking event. So right? You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, instead of giving any one thing or method the time it needs to realize success, right? When confronted with the reality of needing to take consistent action, the same action every day for, like in this instance, 730 days minimum, they throw in the towel. But what I will say is this is your dream, I believe. How many of you is like running your own business and having it support a life that you want to live? Whatever that life looks like, is that your dream? If so, say dream in the comments, and then I'll know what you're responding to, right? Say dream in the comments. This is your dream, and only you, at the end of the day, can make it a reality. Only you can make it a reality. But if you're looking for the rewards without fully showing up, if you're looking for the big results, the big opportunities, the big money, the big clients, without being consistent with the tiny things that you have, right? If you're looking for the big results from networking, or the big results from speaking, or the big results from having a Facebook Live, or the big results, right, and all opportunities that come with that, but you're not even being consistent with the little things that you have and or you're doing right now, then you have to say, like, I'm expecting for my dream to be loyal to me without me being loyal to my dream. I'm expecting my dream to be loyal to me without me being loyal to my dream, right? So are you loyal to your dream, right? That's what you have to do. So again, the majority of new clients come to me frustrated, right? Because they have traction, but they're not hitting their goals, right? Having traction, not hitting their goals. And when they do that, when they have traction, they're like, Okay, this is exciting. Like the Facebook and the stuff, all these things are working, but I'm still not at my goals. What else can I do? But also, Rita, I don't have any more time to do anything else. So I'm a little overwhelmed because I know I need to do more to get more results because I'm not at the results that I want, but I feel maxed out on my time with no more time to do more. And I'm also excited because like this is working. So I am excited about what else I could do, right? But really I'll look and it's like none of that's the right answer. It's not about what else can I do. It's about how can I do more of what's working. It's about being consistent with the things you're already doing, but that means cutting out a lot of the things. Most of the people that come to me are doing too much. You cannot be consistent with all the things. You cannot do all the things and do them well and do them consistently. You can really only be consistent with about one thing, right? One or two things to do it well, repeatedly, over and over. So you have to say, what message am I sending? What am I doing, right? So then, right, the final piece of this is like, when the clients come to me, they'll say, well, I'm not reaching my goals. So, and instead of going, how can I just work my strategy until it works? How can I just, so how can I work my strategy till it works? How can I, what they'll say is, Rita, I'm not hitting my sales goals. I think I need to change my target market because my current market just can't afford me. How many of you have said that before? I guess I'm just in the wrong audience. I'm with the people that don't want to pay. Like people aren't born with a gene that make them the non-payers. Do you know what I mean? Like, but people are, oh, I need to change my target market. I need my new audience, the people with money. There is no demographic called the people with money, right? Like they're not all hanging out, like all just like waiting to be sold to, right? But like people will say, I need to change my target market because my current market can't afford me. Or Rita, no one signed up for my package. No one signed up for my event. No one signed up for my webinar. No one signed up for my intensive. No one signed up for my whatever. So I need to create something different. It must be something different. I put it out there. I advertised. Nobody signed up for it. So I think I need to create something different. Or, hey, Rita, maybe if I lower my prices, then I'll make more sales. Maybe I'm charging too much. If I just lower my prices, maybe I'll make more sales. Or, you know what, Rita, I'm networking, but I must not be networking in the right places. I must not be networking. I need to know what the right places are. Or, you know what, Rita, I'm on social media, but maybe I just need to try a social media site, right? So again, as I review their social media pages, as I read through their newsletters, as I look at their content that they're putting out on social media, as I dig into their sales process, it becomes really easy to understand why they're not hitting the sales goals. Number one, they're not being consistent with the things they're doing. They're doing too much. They're being inconsistent with it. And that's why they don't have the results that they want, right? So the first thing we have to do is cut out almost everything. Focus on one thing, which feels weird. People are always like, Rita, this feels wrong. Like I'm only working, a little bit. Like I'm working X hours. I'm not working around the clock and I'm getting results and I feel guilty. Like I just had 4 hours of free time today. Like surely that's wrong. Like surely that's not right. I should be filling that 4 hours with stuff, right? And then they're like, why am I not living a life I love? And right. So it feels uncomfortable sometimes when the success starts happening from doing less. But that is the only way to success is by doing less. And I don't mean phoning it in or doing nothing again. What I mean is focusing on the right strategy and then implementing it over and over and over and over again. Not about what else can I do. It's about how can I do more of what I'm already doing? How can I work it until it works, right? The second thing is they're not selling enough, right? Or even at all. So this is what I want to leave you with and kind of what we're going to talk about like over the next week or so. But like go back through the last 10 posts on your Facebook business page or in the groups you post in, the last 10. Or if you have a newsletter, go back through your last 10 newsletters or on the social media sites, use Instagram, whatever. Go back through the last 10 things. How many of those 10 things on each of those places were clearly promotional, clearly asking for a sale? Clearly, right? Oftentimes to make more sales, you just need to sell more. But to be able to do more, you have to do more of what you're already doing. You have to be consistent with what you're already doing. But the only way that you can be consistent is by doing less, right? And this is where it feels uncomfortable. How can I be getting results if I'm not working? Like I had a client the other day say, Rita, so I only worked 3 hours yesterday and I'm feeling really guilty because I think I wasted 5 hours. I'm like, how many of you have ever worked in corporate America? Yes, corporate America? I can tell you I used to work as an attorney 12, 13, 15, 20-hour days. And at the end of the day, I could tell you I did nothing. Nothing real, nothing significant, right? Nothing to move the needle forward, but I worked a full day. You know what I mean? It's not about the quantity of time you're working in a day. It's about the quality of what you're doing, right? You could fill an 8-hour day with teeny tiny things that are in no way really moving the needle forward in your business. Maybe it is a teeny bit, but not in a real significant way. Or you could do 30 minutes of work with something really big that moves the needle forward in a huge way and see more results. It is not about filling your day with more work. It is about doing one thing, doing it well, doing it consistently, doing it repeatedly, becoming a master at it, becoming efficient at it. It's sticking to the strategy. That is what doing less and getting more is about. Does that make sense? That is also how you're able to go live your life. You live your life and you make decisions in your business that supports that life. So guys, that's what I wanted to talk about today, right? If you are curious about more, you're going to want to stay tuned for next week. I don't know if you saw the cover photo of the group. If you're not registered for my free three-part live stream series, it's hard to say. My free 3-part live stream series, it's happening next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, here in the All-In Entrepreneur. Register. As you know, I always give away a few prizes whenever people register, and also you're going to get like a special worksheet that other people won't get so that you can work through the lives. But it's the 3 myths that I had to bust through to go all in and get big results in my business, and I'm going to give you tangible actions on what you need to do. We're going to continue this conversation next week, so make sure that you're registered. How many of you are registered, or are you going to register? Let me know in the comments if you're registered for my live stream series, or if you are going to register. Tell me in the comments. You can see it in my cover photo. I've been doing some posts about it. That's the live stream. Click, find the link. We'll put it, I'll have my team post the link here in the comments as well. So Sydney, if you're still watching, if you could please post the link in the comments, that would be awesome. And register and join me all next week. I think it's at 10 o'clock a.m. Monday, 10 o'clock a.m. Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. Friday. And we are going to talk about how to do this in a real practical way. So guys, what was an aha? What was a takeaway? What is something that resonated with you? I would love to know. If you're watching on replay, let me know. But also, if you're here live right now, let me know. What is a tangible takeaway? What's a question you have? What's an aha? What's a question? What is something that you're going to do differently as a result of this? What was an insight, right? I see a lot of yeses. I see a lot of love that answer, right? Loving the question, right? Loving the lives, right? All of these things, but I'm curious, what is it that is an aha? What is it that's a takeaway? What is it that you're going to do differently? What are you going to do? What are you going to say no to? What are you going to go all in on? If you don't know, then you're definitely going to want to join me next week for my 3-part live stream series. Okay, so I want to know if you're going to join me or not. I'm going to sit here to see if there are any comments, guys, in the awkward silence to give you time to type. Otherwise, if there's nothing coming through, I'm going to go ahead and say bye, and I'm going to go get some coffee before I hop into my day. But I really would love to know. I would love to know, oh my gosh, this spoke to me. Oh my gosh, this was a takeaway. Oh my goodness, this is what I'm going to do differently. This is what I'm saying no to. I need to stop doing this and I need to start doing this, right? What is something that popped up in your head as a result of this? And then also let me know, are you joining me for my free 3-part live stream series next week, guys? Let me know that too, okay? All right. It's like the attorney in me. Seeing no additional comments, seeing no further comments, I'm going to hit the gavel and I'm going to close this out. I will see you guys all next week. Free 3-part live stream series. See you next week, guys. Bye.